Hello and welcome to another week of the I Trained You podcast, where we're here to talk about how to improve as a basketball player, how parents can actually structure and set up relationships to get their kids the best possible education. At the end of the day, a lot of times parents have trouble with trying to figure out which road to go down. Do I go down the AAU route? Do I go the training route? Do I just play on my high school team? What do I do? And so the idea is that this show is available for all of the parents, all the players to actually learn what we do here at I Trained You. And we also have a panelist tonight. Coach Brad is not able to be on with us because he's working on a project and he's going to come back with us next week. But the idea is that we have panelists that are on here that help us to understand and shape what improvement is really supposed to look like for them. And for everybody, it's slightly different. For I Trained You, this is an educational company. This is not a skill development training company. This is a complete education. So we do leadership programs. We do what's called the Matrix, which is training programs. We do coaching. We do individual skill work. So we do group training. There's lots of different ways that we have to focus on how to improve. And the only way to really do that is to have a plan. And a lot of times coaches out here don't really have plans. Trainers out here really don't have plans. And so when you sit down with a coach or when you sit down with a trainer, you really need to see if they can articulate a plan. It doesn't matter if they're a new coach or not. Lots of new ideas are coming out all the time. What you want to make sure of is if your kid is on the same frequency with the coach, and are you on the same frequency with that coach or trainer? And that's the beginning of the success of the journey that you're going to have trying to get your player or your son or your daughter to be able to play this game as long as they possibly can, as competitive as they can, and have as much fun as they can. A lot of times we don't realize that hard work can be fun. And a lot of times we don't realize what the creed is. And the creed is become a subject matter expert, be the best version of yourself, and surround yourself with people who inspire you. And if you do that, things work out great. I had the blessing today to talk to my high school coach, one of the most impactful individuals of my life. And so I'm on the phone with him and we're talking and we're chatting, and he's still helping me to strategize about my future. And that's so incredible. And so, what I want you guys to understand is that when you have someone in your life that is there for you and doesn't necessarily need to get anything out of it besides the enjoyment of watching your success, that's someone that's going to influence you. That's someone that you've obviously touched and you influence them. So without further ado, the show is going to be a little shorter today. We have a plan. So every now and then it's just going to be me and Coach Nysear. Let me bring on Coach Nysear. What's up, buddy?
How you doing, man? How everybody doing tonight?
Good, good, good. One of the big things that makes this show different is we want to make sure that players and parents get to know who we are. And at times, getting to know us means that they get to actually sit down in their living room or wherever they are at their office and just listen to these tapes. Tapes, look at me aging myself. Listen to this stream and YouTube and actually really understand kind of where we're coming from a philosophy and a psychology of improvement. And a lot of the technical things that we do, Nasir, to help these kids, it's really almost scientific. Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
You know,
this
so what are this is a chance for us to really chit chat. What are your thoughts about what some of the differences have been when you think about coaches that you've worked with as you are a coach, and trainers that you've seen? What do you see with this curriculum? Why would a parent come to I Trained You over going, to another program that maybe doesn't articulate a curriculum like this? I mean, we have a manual, which is basically like a book that the players get a chance to master called the Matrix. We have, Leadership 24, which I think is incredible this week, is Lead by Example. So hopefully we'll get all the players to start incorporating that. But why would a parent choose this over some of the other opportunities that are out here if they're looking for some supplemental education for basketball or training?
I mean, first thing first is I would say it's a boys and men program. So
Even if they're girls in the program?
it's a
Youth to adult, is that a better way to say it?
it's a youth to adult program. Like
I like
it's not just basketball. It's like it's a life changing experience. It's a growth experience. It's everything. And then it's the science. Like your child is not going to be he's not going to leave or she's not going to leave she's not going to leave and go play games and can do a couple moves but don't really know why they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to know the science behind it. They're going to know why. It's going to help a child that might not, get to the next level, or they do get to the next level, but not only they're a player, they could be a coach.
I see that. One of the things that I find to be very interesting, you and I haven't debriefed on the games this weekend, but on our team, world, we really, and the kids know this, there's really only one dynamic player on our team right now, right?
Yeah.
And if he shoots 90% of the shots, would you agree right now that those 90% might still be better than almost all the other players shooting?
Yeah.
Right? So part of the journey for us as coaches is helping players to become more dynamic. And we have another player who's hurt, and he's way more dynamic right now than the one that we're talking about. But what I've seen is growth, because yesterday they were throwing, we were up at the half,
Mm-hmm.
and they were throwing two people at him at all times, almost like on Saturday as well.
Okay.
He's breaking through. He only had one turnover, and and that was on the ball turnover. But then he also had some passing turnovers. But what's interesting about this is that you can tell that even though athletically he's still trying to figure himself out, you can't take the basketball from him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'll give it away before you take it.
Yeah.
And if he really decides that you're not going to take it, and when he really figures out that, let me burst through. Like one time he did actually have a turnover because he tried to bring the ball above his head and kind of navigate through a couple of people, but he was doing it in a walking fashion as opposed to a run.
Mm-hmm.
And so the referees called a travel. And the reality is he probably didn't travel, right? But it was so slow that it was almost like he stopped moving
Mm-hmm.
and restarted in the two steps. And it's like, well, you can't do that. That's not in the flow of the dribble or the game or the drive. And so, but he learned. And the next time he did it, he ended up getting fouled. But we could see the burst of speed. The other kids don't have enough basketball hours logged in to be able to start to have a conversation about being dynamic, where the mistakes are. And then one time he was coming down the floor and I said, listen, I'm about to put pressure on you. Do not miss another shot like that, because he missed an easy gimme shot right under the basket. So I didn't yell at him, but he was able to receive it without taking offense to it like he was bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So a lot of the other kids, like one of the other kids, I had to take him out of the game because he's cruising, running down the floor while the other team is, all of them are just running past him. But he started out ahead of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I check him out the game and he just puts his head down. I'm saying, dude, what do you want me to do? He said, I understand. And when you have kids that understand that they're not following through with what the agreed message is, then chances are you have a kid that's actually going to become a very good player one day.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about the team, how would you say that these players on this team are going to get to that next level? They want to play varsity for their high school, and they're in 7th and 8th grade now. What are they going to have to do? And this is an example for parents and players to understand that are listening. What are they going to have to do to get to that next level?
Basketball hours. I mean, they got an entire summer. The winter is going to be a basketball season, so they can maybe start in the spring. They just really need to work.
So what are you saying, that during the basketball season they have to work more on their strengths?
During the basketball season, because it's the most current. I think they have to just play with what they got, honestly.
Sometimes I think that kids get lost because they don't know really what to work on and how to improve.
Yeah.
You got all this information out here, all of these moves and all the rest of the stuff, but you don't get, unless you're working with the trainer, the rhythm, the timing, and really the understanding of like the distance theory, how far away you should be when you're going up against this athlete. And so, that leads me into our virtual IQ training, which is something I didn't mention earlier, that's something that I True Trained You has, which is really very unique because you got game film, but we can actually match up and really articulate exactly what a player is doing or is not doing to be successful. And so why don't we pick a player? Who do you want to see if we could just watch some video? We'll see if we can find some successful video on a player, and we'll just break that player down so parents and players can really see what it's like. And we're not going to dog him out, but make him an NBA player. He could be a rookie, he could be whatever. Bring me an NBA player. Who would you want to take a look at?
Bronny James.
Okay, fair enough. So we're going to set up Bronny, and one of the interesting things about LeBron's son is that we have to respect the fact that he is 100% LeBron's son, and this is 100% orchestrated. And it's almost like a thank you to LeBron to have his son play. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Because for all you've done for us, let us do this for you. All right, so here we go. All right, so you can see the screen, right?
Yeah.
So he has 17 points against the Warriors, and we're not saying that he has to be perfect. We're just looking at like his style of play, how he scores. This is a kid that only averaged 2 points a game in college. There are a lot more kids that average 2 points a game in college than are that average 22 points a game in college.
Yeah.
And so for this young man to actually be on the Lakers, it is 100% not because he really displayed that he's a pro. Now, could he become a better basketball player? Absolutely. But we don't see the talent level in him, if I'm not mistaken. Would you agree with that? Do you see the talent?
Yeah.
All right. So let's take a look at this. We're looking at it in slow motion. So first things first. Is this play action or skill action? So number one, let's look at the type of, I don't even know who number 7 or 0 is, but who is he?
I don't know.
So what kind of closeout is this?
It's a perpendicular, but
it's coming from the basket.
It's somewhat like it's a weird angle, so it's parallel, but it also could be perpendicular because, well, I guess it's back for the drop, so I say it's parallel.
You're right. I think you're right on that.
Yeah.
So let's say he passes the ball, the young man's coming out on the closeout. So really, because the basket then is the 180 for this young man. So he's driving early. So
Yeah.
he chooses to not wait till he gets to be in the neutral zone.
Yeah.
He's driving now, but we also know that a mule kick psychologically really commits a defender. So we see it. There's the mule kick. That's the setup.
Slant dribble.
No. And so now he's breaking through, which is fine. And so he probably could have shot this himself.
Yeah.
But if you also notice, Bronny's in a blind spot. But I don't think that Bronny really knows that's a blind spot as much as he just going to the basket, hoping that he can get the ball.
I think LeBron's son know that's a blind spot.
You think he knows? All right.
Yeah.
All right. You got
I'm
me.
gonna give him that.
So in our program, we don't allow you to pass the ball to someone behind the backboard.
Mm-hmm.
So just for everybody that's watching, this is not acceptable. So even though there might be some skill action here of him actually being in the blind spot, because obviously he got there and the guarding him was out of position. But now, he's got to do a little bit more into the basket. And he did a good job on the vertical ankle. But did he get a hard point for that, or did he get a soft point?
So
Absolutely. So that's something to know right off the break. So let's count how many soft points he gets in this game. So his dad is happy. And their best players are not playing. So that's a nice slant dribble.
yeah.
All right, so he's number 41. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's number 9. I don't know what he is. All right, so closeout's coming, parallel closeout or perpendicular.
Parallel.
So the deal is that the dude is what? They're more than 2 arm distance away when he catches the ball. So this is natural law 2. So he shoots the ball. So now he has 5 points. And how many of those points are hard points?
5 for 5.
Well, so you're saying that he got 5. So
No, 5 soft points. Oh,
yeah,
5.
soft point. Yes. All right, here we go. So here this young man gets a paint touch. So we automatically see that he understands how to corner, attract more people to him. And here that parallel closeout comes in.
That was good. That was skillful.
So that's still an assist. And he doesn't go for the paint touch because he wants to shot himself.
Mm-hmm.
Is that so? I would still consider that. I mean, to me, that's a soft point. But would you want to give him that as 2 hard points, or are you going to be orthodox and say that that's a soft?
I mean, it's a bad closeout, but his approach to the lane was the correct approach.
Okay, so you're saying that this is predictable, that he could do this in the next game, and we could see consistency in his success.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give that to you. We're not going to dog him out. So he's got 2 hard points and 5 soft. Please don't go in. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, the Lakers are down by 26. So here we go again. Same dude doing all the dynamic work.
Yes.
Doesn't get the paint touch. That's not, to me, that's not a hard point. I mean, I find all right. So on the closeout, this is a perpendicular closeout. Fine.
Yeah.
You know, he reads the pattern right. I'm okay with that. So, all right, fine. He's 5-4, but that's not really being dynamic. I mean,
Yeah. It's
I,
not.
I can't give that to him. I can't. If that's a better defender, just like you said on the other one, if there's a better closeout, that's just not going to happen. So can we not give him the hard point for that?
We cannot.
All right,
And
good.
then we can take away the hard point for the other one too.
I'm trying to give him something. So look, this guy is, his father is the best player ever in some people's opinion, and he cannot wrap the ball around the back. He missed the connection to the ball. That means if there's somebody that's close to him on this, that's an immediate turnover.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable. So he gets the ball back. He jumps from the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, which is pretty far out.
Yeah. Me white.
I mean, they're not even in a 3-on-2 break. They should be in a single line formation getting back. It was like they just let him split. It's not a hard. I mean, it's. Is that predictable in the next game that he can do that?
No, I mean, all his points are soft points, but it looks like he knows a little something.
Yes, it does. Like, okay, so he understood, but did he even spot the defenders right here? Is he really spotting them,
No,
or is he looking at the basket only?
he really is just looking at the basket.
Okay.
So
It's amazing to me because I don't dislike this kid, but that's just bad defense.
soft.
Gets a paint touch. Okay, he got fouled, and so he goes to the line. Do you want to give him the hard points for going to the basket?
The hard attempt.
Yeah,
You can get the hard attempt.
he can get the hard. Okay. I mean, it's tough, man. It's really difficult. Let's take a look at somebody who, about the same height, maybe smaller, so we can see a difference in. So this is one of my favorite dynamic players. All right. So first of all, we see him in a half motion, really trying to get the defense to move laterally. The defense does move.
You know.
Secondary confirmation. I mean, we're just seeing a total difference right now. So look how he's shifting and breaking the frame here. Like, what happened to this guy?
Injury.
Okay. Nice job. Elbows down. We teach that.
Killer crossover.
Same thing. gives a confirmation on the drive. The defender is coming over to close out. So he's allowing that closeout, and that's perpendicular closeout. So he's letting the closeout happen so that the dude goes in that direction, and now he's able to go against his momentum and go into the shot. Beautiful. Again, breaking the frame of the defense's shoulders. Look at that. I mean, we're breaking the frame, watching the shift, keeping the ball. Notice how he's below, his shoulders are down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this one again on Wednesday. 100% reproducible in another game, right?
Yes.
Look at that.
That was a pistol?
So he does an over-the-top pistol.
Yeah, pistol.
And what I like about this is that he gave additional footwork, and so everybody got caught in that. Everybody's looking where they can help. You saw Joel right there too.
Yeah.
Joel's coming over to help.
Andre Drummond, you mean?
Oh, Andre Drummond. Oh, yeah, exactly. Confirmation. Look at that. Paint touch, power charge into the finish, and he followed execution principles. Look where he's jumping from. Like, we could tell this is reproducible night in and night out.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Look how far he is away on this. We're not even saying this is a wing slot, but he's doing that to set up the screen. And he's reading whether or not the guy is backing up. Number 8's just backing up. Let him back up. Shoulders down. Shoulders down. Oh, nice. Against stronger defenders, your shoulder has to attack the hip. So just notice some players know that and understand it. This is totally reproducible. And that could have been a great pass to that big if he got a stronger paint touch. But still, he confirms again. So he's constantly confirming. Before he goes in any direction, he's going to always confirm the other way. Are you seeing that?
Yeah.
Again, confirmation, angle, confirmation, confirmation, confirmation. My belief system is you got to think like this, right? You got to be doing this all. Look at that hand-to-hand combat. Still got him weak. Confirmation, in motion, confidence all over the place. Confirmation, confirmation, confirmation. So the very best players know that you can't just make one or two movements to get to the basket. There's got to be something else. Half motion, nice job with the split. We call that a double tap, hitting the basketball. There it is again. Look how low his shoulders are, just to make sure. Look where he jumps from. Look where he jumps from. He didn't even put the other foot down. He knew he had to have an improper layup to be able to get this shot off. Confirmation. Yeah, his injury. I don't even know what he was injured from, but he needs a skill development specialist that deals with rehabbing injuries and can bring the skill back. Look at that. So, he's willing to angle. Look how much lower his shoulders go down to be able to sell the move. When he's attacking, let's see if he drops his shoulders again. All this, though, before he goes into the shot is nothing but full motion, freestyling to keep the defense's hands down. And while the defense's hands are down, you're going to be late. That's natural law, too. Again, more confirmations to keep the hands down. Shoulders are low. Look at that wing test. Isn't that a beautiful wing test?
Yeah.
This is a kid. He's wing testing again. To me, he makes the game look like it's really easy.
He does.
He must have done something wrong. He must have been mean to somebody because there's no way he doesn't belong in the league. This is what he does all the time. This is not, or what he did do all the time. Oh, nice. Vertical angle right into the defense. So this is what I'm saying for all the parents out here. There's nothing that Kimba is doing that is an accident. These are all skill sets that he's pulling together. And we use what's called PRT, or pattern recognition theory, that matches up with our book. And if you ever see our book, you'll actually see these skill sets talked about and the strategies on how to bring them into your kids' arsenal so that you can be a dynamic player. We want to have at least 3 or 4 dynamic kids that we develop every season. We have some kids that are working on it, but you've got to put the time in. And so if coaches aren't able to talk to you, or trainers aren't able to talk to you about some of the stuff that we're just giving you a sample of, it's difficult for you to understand how your kid is going to improve. Because we can be specific. This movement right here, well, not so much this one, but that's called unguard. And that's a drag up movement that he used to be able to push Lopez back. Like, this is not an accident why this young man is as good. That's called a slingshot. And then for him jumping into Tim Duncan is what we call a power charge, or a body check, going to the basket. Same thing right here. Shoulders are down. Sell your shoulders high and execute low. Same deal here. He knew that the defender was above the midline guarding him. And so now it's 5-on-4 going to the basket. Look how he's spotting the defense each time. Every kid should be able to understand this, and you have to train this way so that you can build your muscle memory. So time and time again, This is a part of your game, and you can test that. Those are hard attempts. So if you were to compare Bronny, you're fading out. I don't know the video quality, but if you are comparing Bronny to Kimball Walker, I mean, this is not fair to Bronny, but we see that as much that his father knows about basketball, his father doesn't play like that, right?
Right.
So should Bronny play like this?
Yeah. Like
Where's where's he going to learn it from unless he learns it from us?
nowhere.
I don't see it, because there's methods, there's a psychological force that's happening there. There's defensive protection lines that you have to learn what those mean, and follow those rules and study it. And then at that point, you can put yourself in a position where, hey, this makes sense. So every week, guys, we really want to sit down with you guys and be in your living room so that you can learn about how we approach the game and how we teach it. And the skill sets that we're able to really define are so critical, because, somebody told me once, man, you just need to get out there and play. But that's not real, because if I can define a drag up and know what that is and know when to use it with the distance theory of the active, neutral, and passive zone so that I can have a higher predictability of success, why would I not want that scientific approach? I would. So we want you to know, as trainers, as mentors, as people who are in this game, that look, even if you have a trainer and you don't want to come to us, call us. We'll talk to your trainer about some of these things. It's important that you get the right evaluation, and things may change over here for me in terms of how we're structuring things, because I haven't talked to you about this, but I want to actually have it where kids actually have to take an assessment test before they come in our training. And that's so we can see what the aptitude is. You could be extremely talented. I mean, we talk about, what's the guy's name? Imani Bates. I don't know the true story for why Imani's not playing. Do you know why he's not playing? Is he in the league now?
Yeah, Julie.
Right. But my point is, do we really understand why the number one player in the country didn't make it and become at least a formidable NBA player at this point at 6'10" or 6'9"? We don't know. But what we do know is that when we watch him play, he tries to be a catch and shoot player, and he does not break frames, or he didn't as of last summer. So I'll say all of this to say, Nysear, that as parents are making decisions about their kids' future, some things you can control, some things you can't. Find an educational program for your kids. That's the power that you have as a parent. That's the power that you're going to have if you're identifying your own resources as a child. Find pattern recognition theory specialists who can really help you to define what you're looking for and what the highest probability of success is, and even to help you to understand proximity. Like, we do proximity development, where we're really doing, like, what we call combat, where you're sparring with the defense and they're very, very close. And so you've got to get used to getting what we call first contact. And to me, Nysear, players that understand first contact, would you say that Kimball Walker does it? First contact?
Yeah.
Right. So all I'm suggesting is that at some point we got to figure out how to help these families know that, there might be things that are blocking your children. Like, we have some kids that I just don't think are confident enough with first contact and all the rest of the stuff. And so it might not be in their nature to do stuff, but it's our job to nurture it. And it may take 6 months, it may take a year, but number one, you got to get started. And if you just get started, then you have a chance in the future that something will, kind of change, as opposed to your kid just being like, You know, I'm 25 and I'm still trying to figure it out. And you know, there's players out there that are like that they just can't let go of the game. So anyway, so I know I'm over a little bit. Is there anything else you wanted to share before we turn off for the night?
Mhm.
All right. Well, we're doing our thing, man. So thank you. Let's keep this journey going. And, you know, looks like we got our schedule for coaching. Looks like that's there, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to have a magical season for all the kids and, you know, really make it great. And hopefully for all the kids that are watching, you know, my job is just to bring out the best in you and help you to be, you know, something different than you even thought you could be, but even more so that you enjoy the journey. So I'm happy to be on that with everybody on here and happy to be in this game with you too, Nysear. Thank you. See you guys.